Hello Bulldogs, today is Tuesday, November 30th. My name is Ted Hyngstrom, here with your TV Judge announcements. The next couple of weeks will be pretty busy, so let's get to it. First up, I'd like to take this opportunity to mention the auditions for the main stage play. Today through Thursday after school, you can audition to be in it. It's always pretty cool to be a part of these things, and I highly recommend it. Next up, this week is Academic Integrity Week. Listen to the morning announcements for tips on how to be more academically integrated from our wonderful counselors. And of course, probably the most anticipated drive all year, the Gift of the Drummer will be doing their final pickup on December 9th during advisory. Do not forget to go and buy your items because they're pretty important to those who need them. Finally, finals are coming up in about 2 weeks now. The schedules will be up around the school. I know currently there's one in Mr. Henschel's biology room right now if you're really interested. And that's all for this week, Bulldogs. The Bulldog News team will be back as always in 2 weeks or so to bring you your up-to-date announcements. Stay cool, Bulldogs, and have a great rest of your week.
On October 23rd and 22nd, St. George held the Utah NICA State Race. This was the biggest high school sporting event in the nation with over 2,500 racers. That's not including coaches, parents, siblings, and racers who came but didn't make state. Now, state is a very competitive race, but the last race was a coaches' race. All of the head coaches in the entire state raced against each other, but in costumes. As to the actual race, SLC Composite, the team judges on, took second in Division III with 4 kids getting top 15. It was super fun and all of the coaches' costumes were hilarious. The season's over and it's on to winter sports now.
Riders, skiers, boarders, flyers, Ubisoft Annecy has created an experience for you, Riders Republic. Geared towards an audience into action-packed content filled with extreme sports gaming, Riders Republic packs insane visuals, challenging gameplay, and loads of fun all into one crazy open-world environment. Set in several different national parks such as Arches and Bryce, the basic idea is that you are a biker, a boarder, a skier, or a glider. Competing in races and challenges is a ton of fun and gets you currency to be used on a variety of cosmetic items or other fun missions. My favorite part was the more cartoonish feel it had compared to its predecessor, Steep, in that doing tricks and jumps had a more loopy way of playing out. The game has a hefty tag attached to it at a price of $60 USD on all major consoles, as well as the need for a good internet connection, but I recommend it as the game is certainly worth playing at some point.
Dune is the latest screen adaptation of the novel Dune by Frank Herbert. It has a cast of full stars with Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, and more. It follows Paul Atreides, the heir to the House of Atreides and son of Duke Leto. Duke Leto has accepted stewardship of a planet rich in expensive materials, but one of the most hazardous, harboring a danger that none could have anticipated. Dune is one of the best films I've seen in theaters and a benchmark in the sci-fi genre. Having already had overall positive reviews, it tells a compelling narrative while not losing the viewer's attention. From the diamond-studded casts, incredible visuals, and soundtrack, everything flows great. The problem I had though fall with some of the characters. Overall, I enjoyed the film in theaters, and it has been one of my favorite sci-fi films, and I encourage you to watch it too.
PBS Utah presents the Governor's Monthly News Conference, an exchange between Utah reporters and Governor Spencer Cox.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's great.
And I would like to introduce Brianna. She is a Judge Memorial High School student. She's a senior, and she's here as part of our PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Lab. So, Brianna, go ahead with your question.
Hi, thank you so much. My question for you is, because of the decrease in state funding for higher education over the past years, we have seen the average cost of tuition at public institutions increase by nearly 35% since the year 2000. Prices for fees, books, and supplies have also gone up. This makes it harder for students to pay for an education. In your One Utah roadmap, you state that you will increase funding and address disparities to support students. Can you say more about how you have addressed disparities to support students and how you can make education more affordable?
Yeah, thank you, Brianna, and it's great to see you. We got to meet before, and I'm grateful you're here. Looking forward to great things from you. She wants to become an attorney, and I was going to try to talk her out of that, but she wants to do immigration work, and we need good immigration attorneys, so I'm very excited for you. So, this is an interesting question, Brianna, because I'm going to tell you how awesome we are, and then I'm going to tell you why that's not so great, okay? So you mentioned that time period and the rising cost of higher education. So it's not that we haven't funded higher education more. In fact, every year we put more funding into higher education. The problem is that the cost of higher education has risen faster than the extra amount of money that we've been able to put in. And so that difference has usually gone, at least partially, to tuition, right? So we're seeing more of that. Now, we also have more assistance available for students than ever before. So there is public assistance available, federal assistance available for higher education students. So we're seeing that happening. Here's the good part. So when it comes to higher education, Utah is I think second in the rate of increase in the cost of higher education. Okay, so we're number 2 best. That we've had the lowest rate. So cost of higher education is rising lower here than anywhere else except one state, and I can't remember where that is, but we were number 2. Unfortunately, that's the best of a very broken system. And so we are very worried about higher education. Now, K through 12 education. We have had record funding over the past few years for K through 12 education. And I suspect, and we've already announced, that the numbers look very good this year from a budget surplus standpoint. And a lot of that is education-related money, which means that we can put it into K through 12 education, and that we can put it into higher education as well. I've emphasized a focus on at-risk students and students from low-income families. That applies, more directly to our multicultural communities and to our rural communities. So we've been working with Senator Ann Milner and others, a group together on what legislation could look like. Nothing has been finalized yet, but trying to find a way to get more of the money that we're going to spend on higher education and direct it to those who are most at risk and most at need, so that we can make up some of those disparities that we see in school districts and in some portions of higher education. So I would say stay tuned. We're very hopeful that coming up this session in January and February that you'll see some legislation that will help us do more of that. Thank you.